And Frank, how surprising is it to hear on the day he was supposed to pitch that Aaron Nola goes on the DL?
Well, in some respects, it really wasn't that surprising. I saw him pitch his last two starts, one in Pittsburgh, one in Atlanta, and his last start, his velocity was down. If you might remember, the Phillies spotted him 5 runs in the first inning, and he came out and he wasn't throwing any strikes. And it almost looked like he was afraid to throw a strike, and that might be because his velocity was down. He didn't want to get the ball anywhere near the plate where it could be hit. So something was up. That was his only win since June 5th, which is kind of amazing. And he wouldn't have gotten the win probably unless Phillies hadn't spotted him so many runs to start. But so it's not a total surprise, but you got to wonder if they've sort of known about this for a few days now, and maybe that was part of the reason they were motivated to keep Hellickson around.
You wonder, though, if they knew about this for a couple of days, why they wouldn't line Jake Thompson up with Nola, right? I mean, Phil Klein, a guy to be honest with you, didn't even know was in the organization, is going to pitch tonight.
Yeah, I think it was just a matter of when they made the final call to shut him down. It's just that Klein was all set to start tonight for the Iron Pigs, and I think he's up here just for tonight. That's my personal take.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to come in just because he was the one ready to pitch just up the turnpike. And he'll make this start. He'll give him what he can. I mean, he hasn't really started that much even for the Iron Pigs. He only made 5 starts at AAA. This is a reliever that the Phillies claimed from the Texas Rangers back when they had a roster spot opened by Alec Asher being hit for that PED suspension. So he's probably somebody they scouted last year when they were looking at the Rangers for the Cole Hamels trade, and so they grabbed him. He was kind of getting some starts at AAA, mainly since Zach Eflin came up to the major league. And right now he's just somebody to plug in for tonight, just to get them through tonight. And then I would think that we see Jake Thompson pretty soon.
Nola out with a right elbow strain. Is this something that you think he'll be back after 15 days, or is there some concern here?
I think this is a big concern. The thing about the elbows, if it's the UCL, that's not something that they can really fix without surgery, which is famously known as the Tommy John surgery. So at the worst end of this, if it really is bad, and we really don't know many specifics at this point, but if it's really bad, I mean, this is something that if he gets Tommy John surgery, he might be knocked out for most of 2017.
Ooh.
So this could be pretty bad. So I guess you have to wait and see.
So you're thinking the worst here?
It could, you can't rule it out. I mean, these elbow ligaments are very tricky. Now, if it's a very mild strain, sometimes with rest, you can kind of battle back just with a little bit of rest, but if it's anything pretty bad, then this could be kind of devastating for the Phillies for next season.
Frank Klose is with us from 97.3 ESPN.com. You can read stuff from Frank over at Philadelphia.com, part of SportsTalkPhilly.com. Genmar Gomez, paternity list. What's the length of time there?
Usually it's only a few days. It could be a matter of where his wife is. Is she home in Venezuela or is she in the States? So it depends where she is. But this should be rather short. Maybe what you'll see happen is when they called up Michael Marriott from AAA Lehigh Valley, who you might also not have heard of. Phillies grabbed him in the off season, and he was injured to start the year. But if he can come back in a few days, what you might see is Marriott stay, Klein go back down, and then they swap Marriott for Thompson in time for the weekend, perhaps. So hopefully this is a short thing. Could be a chance to give Hector Neris a look as a closer the next couple days if they need one. But hopefully at least this is a quick thing. And congratulations to Jean-Marc.
Yeah, and Gomez paternity leave. His wife is having a baby, so he'll miss just a couple of games. I was going to say, without him in the back end of that bullpen, he's really stabilized things and made this season bearable. I mean, without him, you'd wonder where this team would be. Nola, on the other hand, let's say it's just okay. It takes him like 3-4 weeks to get back. You're looking into September or so. What's the point at that point, right? You just see what Jake Thompson has, and you go, because there was already talk of a 6-man rotation. Maybe Nola, they just shut him down the rest of the year. Would that make, even if it's not a major injury, do you think shutting him down makes the most sense?
Yeah, I think that's the most prudent thing to do. I mean, if there's any chance at all that he could re-aggravate this. I think, remember this year is all about rebuilding and setting yourself up for the future. So those types of injuries are the ones that you can pitch through. Generally, it's just a matter of rest. So I would have him rest until spring training at this point. I think that would be the best thing for the Phillies can do. If they put him on the 60-day disabled list as well, that'll actually save them a 40-man roster spot. They're going to need a couple in coming weeks when they're looking to bring up some of these young players. So that's probably the prudent thing to do. And it could mean that, yes, people like Phil Klein and David Buchanan and Adam Morgan are the ones pitching the innings. But you really got to look at this very carefully as you're hoping for beyond this year.
All right, John, of course, Frank Klose with more on this injury to Aaron Nola. He's got an update over at 97.3 ESPN.com, at Frank Klose with a K, 973, Phillies and the Giants tonight. Were you at the ballpark last night for that one? That was a wild one, huh?
Yeah, it was a pretty wild one, wasn't it? So, you thought 6-run lead, they were in good shape, and then, of course, Zach Eflin's still a little inexperienced. Yeah, Madison Bumgarner, of all people, too. You thought if there was any game that the Giants were going to lock the Phillies down, it would be last night. But it's nice to see. I think Aaron Nola is a nice addition to this Phillies team, and he's somebody I was really interested in seeing how he did this year, and I think we can see he's got some tools, he's got some speed, got some power, he can play defense. So nice player, and I think if without him you don't see a game like last night.
Yeah, fun game at the ballpark. Maybe not if you were there the whole time. 3 hours plus for Frank.
A little bit long.
Yeah.
Plus, fans were getting kicked out by the umpire.
Yeah,
what was that all about?
Yeah, it's funny because it sounds like the umpire had enough of this guy's vulgar language. And now the Phillies released a statement and wanted to be clear that he left on his own doing after the umpire asked him. So, but
yeah, there's some reports that the umpire actually threw him out, but I guess the official was not that he got ejected, that basically he left on his own accord, right?
Right. I don't know what the legal ramifications are. Can an umpire kick somebody out? I don't even know.
It's not like you see that every day. It's not like you see that every day of the week. I mean, an umpire throwing out a fan. You see him throwing out a player, but not a fan.
Yeah.
Usually security takes care of that before the umpires even get involved. But
I guess it's going to happen. It's going to happen in Philadelphia, right?
Right, hey, the fans were booing the guy as he was being let out, so I guess that's a good sign for Phillies fans, right?
Yes. All right, Frank, tonight it's Phil Klein against Johnny Cueto at the ballpark. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You got it. So, Frank.